Hello, I'm PhocusWire Editor-in-Chief Mitra Sorrells, and today I am joined by Gaurav Bhatnagar, co-founder of TBO, a global travel distribution platform founded in 2007 and now operating in more than 100 countries. Welcome, Gaurav.
Thank you, Mitra. Pleasure to be here.
Great. So why don't you begin by just telling us a bit more about TBO?
Sure. So Mitra, TBO is like you said, it's a travel distribution platform. Our objective is to aggregate world's travel demand. And where we have started from is looking at the offline demand that exists globally. So on one side of the platform is a global travel supply. So we aggregate airlines, hotels, transfers, car rentals, sightseeing, packages, what have you, right? Anything related to travel that can be sold online is on the platform. And then for demand, we aggregate demand primarily through travel agents, travel management companies, tour operators, but also we service a little bit of OTAs, super apps, loyalty companies. So the objective, Mitra, is that, as travel becomes more and more international, there is a large, growing demand coming in from the emerging markets, which is primarily offline, right? So, and TBO works on aggregating that demand on a single platform.
Okay, that sounds like a really large scope. Can you give us a sense of the size of the market and how that offline play is developing?
So, Mitra, surprisingly, it's an underserved market, even though it's very large. So globally, the estimates are that about half of all travel is sold offline. And if we were to further segregate and talk about outbound travel, when people travel from their country to another country, probably significantly more than half of that travel is booked offline. And then there are use cases like group travel, MICE, incentives, corporate travel, which almost 100% of it happens offline. So it's very hard to put a number on that market. But if you were to look at just how many people operate in that market, how many players, how many travel agents, one broad estimate is between 1.5 million to 2 million travel agencies exist globally. Global travel is almost $9 trillion. But if you're only looking at outbound travel, which is when, again, where people want me traveling through a different country, even that travel spend is about $1.9 trillion.
Wow.
So it's a very, very large number. If you see the largest, OTAs today, they are circa 100 billion each between Expedia, Booking, and then, Airbnb, Ctrip a little bit smaller. So maybe $200 or $300 billion of that 1.9 trillion is really getting consolidated today. The rest of it is all fragmented across these hundreds of countries, driven through millions of offline points of sale.
And you mentioned that those outbound trips and cross-border. I mean, that's where that complexity really comes in, I guess, and people are looking for some of that assistance. Can you tell us a bit more about kind of the audience? Are you seeing a difference between people that are traveling for the first time versus those that are more mature?
Yeah, look, outbound travel is a relatively new phenomena. It's at the turn of the century. It was really the developed world traveling within the developed world.
Right.
But since then, a bulk of the new outbound travelers are all coming from the emerging markets, be it India, China, Indonesia, Brazil, South Africa, and so what have you, right? And these are first-time travelers. They often need a visa as well to travel, and they need to exchange currency as well. So it's complex, right? As a first-time traveler, traveling outside of my own country, I've recently gotten a passport. I want to get some advice on where should I stay, what flight should I book, if do I need a visa, do I need to buy forex, right? So there's a lot of friction that comes in
Right.
for a first time traveler. So our research is that on this end of the spectrum, the first time travelers primarily prefer going to a travel agent when they're traveling overseas, for the first few trips.
Yeah.
Then there is this other end of the spectrum is the well-heeled traveler, right? This is the developed market, slightly older demographic, like the 55 plus in UK or US. Significant time and disposable income with them. They do significantly longer trips, often travel in small groups, like not like large tours, but they
Right.
will often travel in small groups, very long itineraries. They would spend between 14 to 30 days traveling, visit multiple cities within that same trip, and also have significant focus on activities and experiences while they are traveling. Right. So these are high spenders. They see complexity in managing all of this travel themselves, and they also prefer going to a travel agent or a travel advisor. And then, of course, there is this middle segment, right, which is also large, which is people who have been traveling frequently. They've traveled a few times and they see value in, at least for point to point travel, they do see value in booking online. And
Right.
that happens a lot, right? So you would have simple point to point itineraries. I am traveling to Dubai for 3 days and I'm probably going to just go on, on an OTA or an airline website and a hotel website and make my booking. Right. So broadly, I think that is how the travel distribution is segmented right now. There are two ends of the spectrum: the first time traveler from the emerging markets traveling for the first time, and then the well-heeled traveler on the other end, traveled a lot, but not looking to save a few bucks by trying to manage it all themselves online. The other bit that has happened, and I don't know if you've seen it in your research, Mitra, is that post-COVID,
Yeah.
people somehow realize that there is value. The travel advisor does add a lot of value when you get stuck, right? When you need to reschedule, get a
Yes.
refund, you want to find alternate flight, you need to figure out, do I need a COVID certificate, do I need a test, right? So I think travel advisors also stepped up post COVID, and some of the loyal online bookers have also gone back to travel advisors.
Yeah, that's certainly something that we have covered quite extensively and have seen, in markets all around the globe and in a variety of demographics and things, just how much more complex the travel experience is right now. So, that helps to give a sense of then who you're serving. Can you talk a bit more about how you actually do this? How do you build this B2B business and the role of technology and what you've created?
No, absolutely, Mitra. It's a hard, it's a technology business. The heart of our business is our platform, and there are two sides to our platform. On the demand side, we have a fairly sophisticated, point of sale solution for travel agents. It's completely free to use, so they do not have to pay to sign up and use the platform. The platform allows them to get access to travel inventory across hotels, airlines, transfers, ancillaries, travel insurance, and we continue to add new product. Like cruise is a new product that we've been adding now.
Okay.
So it's a simple, easy to use platform, basically built ground up, keeping the travel agent business in mind, right? So, and there is a spectrum. So there is the independent travel advisor, right? They just need access to be able to get access to inventory, and then we figure out a way to collect payments, right? So we support more than 50 currencies worldwide and a variety of payment options, right? So in US, you could pay with your customer's credit card. In India, you can use alternate payment models like Paytm. In China, you could use Alipay. So all of that is on the platform. So just removing friction for an individual travel advisor to be able to, find good rates and sell them. Then there are travel agencies or hosts and consortia where they have a little bit more complexity. They want to be able to create branches, or they want to be able to create sub users. Large travel agencies often have hundreds of bookers, and they want to create some rules around who can book what, who can issue an invoice, who can cancel booking. So all of those controls on the platform as well. And then we build ancillary tools around the platform to make it easier for a travel agent to interact with their own customer. So there's
Okay.
a nice quotation tool, right? So when you do a quotation on the platform, you can actually create a quotation, send it as a link to your prospective customer, and when they click on the link to look at the quotation, you get a message back saying that your quotation has been viewed. Or they can choose from that quotation on their phone and say, this is the hotel that I actually want to book, and then it comes back to you to say this is what they've selected.
Okay.
So the idea is, Mitra, that as a travel agent, as a travel seller, I should be able to run my entire business within the TBO platform. I shouldn't have to pay for the technology.
And you referenced the multiple currencies there that you serve. I mean, is there anything else that it strikes me you're really trying to create a system that can then accommodate this very large user base around the globe that probably has a lot of differentiation. Anything else that you can share there as far as how you make that happen?
So payments is a big, it's a big point of friction for outbound travel. It's one of those things which actually differentiates what is the difference between domestic travel and outbound, is that I have to pay a supplier in a different part of the world.
Right.
And we do a lot of work to make it as smooth as possible. And frankly, for suppliers as well, it's a huge value add. If I'm a hotel in London and my customer is in India, and they want to pay with Paytm, which is a very popular QR code based, payment wallet, or UPI, which is a very popular, bank transfer solution in India. Obviously, as a hotel in London, there is no way I can facilitate it, and that is where we come in, right? So we create the infrastructure to make sure the customer pays in the currency they want to pay, in the form that they want to pay. And this extends to creating innovative fintech solutions. In Brazil, a bulk of our business happens on installment. So we'll allow travel agents to allow their travelers and customers to pay through via installments as well for their travel. So we
Okay.
take this complexity and put it inside under the hood in our platform. And
Okay.
which is why Mitra, the tagline for us is simplifying travel. So there is all this complexity that we try to simplify with technology.
Okay. So now let's talk a bit about the value of what you're offering from the hotel perspective. Can you share a bit of what's happening there?
Yeah. So for hotels, it is really a wide space. If I am a hotel, look, just segmenting my customer base, depending on what kind of a hotel, between half to 90% of my travelers are actually offline, right? So if I'm a very high-end luxury resort in Maldives, almost everything gets booked offline. Or if I am a budget property in a large city, maybe half of my business comes offline. Now, when I'm selling online, I have so many options as a hotel. I can build my own brand.com. I can be on the OTAs. I can also use Google to do my marketing and advertising, because people are going to book online are far more accessible today because of the internet.
Right.
But then there is this other part of the equation, the everybody else who is offline. And our data shows, Mitra, that the offline traveler is usually a higher spender, usually books a higher room category, spends more time at the hotel, right? So this is it's a coveted traveler. I want to, as a hotel, I want to be able to service this traveler. My challenge is, how do I do it today, right? So if you're outside of the TBO ecosystem, there are very limited options as a hotel, right? Large chains will sometimes do, road shows. So they will come to different cities and try to, meet travel agents, or they will attend travel trade shows globally. But the ROI is very weak, and it doesn't lead to any closure of transactions. So our value prop for the hotels is that, once you're on the TBO platform, the offline travel agent, the offline customer base is global. Offline customer base is accessible to you. And again, no cost at all, right? There is no cost to play on the platform, to participate on the platform. We take care of payments. We take care of credit where travel agents need credit. We make sure that you are able to educate the travel agents via our online academy on why they should sell their hotels. We also run an online loyalty program for travel agents and travel advisors. So as a hotel, if I want to participate in loyalty and say, look, if you are as a travel booker, if you're going to promote my hotel, I'm going to give you a little bit of loyalty incentive, right? So you can do that through our platform. The
Okay.
best part of it, Mitra, is that it is completely linked to performance, right? So as a hotel, my investment in technology and distribution is zero. I only, kind of pay a commission only when a booking happens on the platform.
Okay. And can you just talk a bit more? There's some issues there around the rates in that offline environment, correct?
Yeah, Mitra, I think the issues are bigger in the online environment, just because hotels have this challenge of trying to maintain rate parity between different channels.
Right.
And I think one of the big, beautiful advantages of serving the offline customer base is that you have far more flexibility with rates. You can decide, because this is typically, a travel agent will usually package a rate together, right? So when somebody is buying from a travel agent, they're usually buying a flight and a hotel and probably adding a transfer and a bunch of other things. So if you wanted to offer opaque rates, if you wanted to offer package rates, the promise of TBO is that those rates will not appear online, right? This is a travel agent in Brazil or in Saudi or in India or in US, bundling it together in a larger package and then giving it to a customer. So from a yield management perspective, from perspective of being able to protect my online rates and still offer a lower rate, which can be packaged offline, we provide a very, very effective model. The other bit, Mitra, is that the other segment that we service is a lot of CUG, use cases like member loyalty clubs, travel membership clubs, and there again, the for an individual hotel to be able to access these and offer differentiated rates in these channels is very hard. So again, when they work with us, we give them access to this distribution as well.
Okay. There's a lot happening there for sure. The world of B2B travel distribution, quite busy. Before we wrap up, I did want to mention, I noticed, Gaurav, that you recently joined the executive committee for the World Travel and Tourism Council. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So, WTTC, we've been a member of WTTC for a while now. And one thing I noticed was that the offline travel distribution space always remains underrepresented.
Yeah.
The travel agents, travel advisors are, there are millions of travel advisors globally, and they have no voice, in large forums. WTTC is a very inclusive and a very influential forum. So, and when we were invited to be part of the executive committee, we really took up the offer in full earnest, because we do believe that bringing more visibility to the challenges the offline distribution world faces and the opportunities that the offline distribution world presents is very important. So I hope, I'm able to use this privilege well and represent our offline travel agent community well over there.
Well, we look forward to following some of the developments there for sure. We are about out of time. Gaurav, thank you so much for spending some time with us and telling us about TBO.
Thank you so much, Mitra. Pleasure talking to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.